Hello. It's been a long time. And, the truth is that I just lost the will to do this. For I don't know how many years, I kept doing it, kept hyping myself up, kept being like, hey, people will catch on. And yeah, of course, people caught on and started making content off of my content. And I watched those channels go viral and all of that good stuff. And, I just got tired. But recently came back around, and someone who's very sweet was like, you haven't made any videos, and I miss them. And there it is, purpose. So this is gonna be kind of a ramble, I guess. But I learned that the world wasn't a safe place as a little girl. But I still fooled myself into thinking that it was a safe place, that the good people outnumbered the bad. Until I realized that the bad people run the world. They run the world. They get rewarded. There's nobody coming to save you. You have to save yourself. I'm praying that the grooming of young women stops. Being told that we have to be submissive and sweet, kind, don't hurt anybody's feelings, don't ruffle any feathers, has to stop. It has to stop. The running ourselves ragged just so that we can look like we have it all together when no one has it all together. That has to stop. The thinking that those that have titles are smarter than us, when the truth is that they're just either more complacent or into things that we aren't, so we never get invited to sit at the quote-unquote cool table, which all of us are finding out it's not so cool to be at that table. Or how, things happen and we just ignore them as a community, like people are doing now. It's interesting me watching others have the reaction that I had years ago when I first encountered the dark truths of this world. I ran to those closest to me and I told them of my discoveries. And instead of being met with what I thought would be, we all are going to pick up a torch and go get those people, it became, why are you such a bother? Why do you want to talk about such things? I don't have time for this. You're crazy. You're weird. You're strange. And there was a fire that was lit inside of me, and I knew that I had to continue talking about it. I had to put light on it. I had to scream, even if no one was listening. Even if I got tired of hearing my own voice. And there were times along the way where it was very lonely. And I know that I'm not speaking just for myself, because there are many of us that we told you so. We told you so. And we were all met with the same, "You're crazy." And then silence and shadow banning and no support, until the murmur got so loud that it can no longer be ignored. And now it's a trending topic. I've told you guys I don't know how many times who I am, and you have seen it for yourselves, and you have chose not to support. And that's okay. But God has confirmed who I am, my position, who He has made me be multiple times over. And because you don't like the messenger, therefore you don't want to listen to the message. And mind you, that is done perfectly by design, by His design, because He sends the voices, the people that He knows will be rejected. Not because He wants everyone to fail, but because how can you know that your heart is being tested if you like the person or you want them to succeed? Many times people don't want you to do better than them because they themselves don't want to be exposed. However, we are all exposed to a heavenly judge who is perfect. Going through these files that everybody is talking about, and we haven't even scratched the surface on how sick and disgusting and orchestrated these crimes really are, how heinous they really are. But I began to think about my own life and how, as a nice, pretty girl, I was always surrounded by predators. Predators don't always attack you openly, but the men that lust over you when you're underage, and you as a child with discernment, you know their gaze is not right. They shouldn't be looking at you. And these whole ridiculous theatrics that communities put on, it's all a scam. It's all a scam. And, they say, "Oh, you're going through a midlife crisis." It's not a crisis so much as it is finding out that you bought a fucking ticket to the circus and you believed every lie. You fell for it. You fell for it. There are a lot of uncomfortable truths that many people are having to deal with. And mainly the one is, who am I in all of this? Am I the person that is compliant? Or am I the voice that cries out in the wilderness? Make way, make the path straight. Am I the person who, doesn't do anything about these truths? It's called looking in the mirror and knowing yourself. I know myself and I love myself, and I have struggled because I hold on to the truth, the divine truth. And this channel is a part of my legacy. You can go back to the very beginning and you can see that I am a seer of El Elyon because I did not hold my mouth shut. I did not hold my gifts to myself. And I didn't even get a reward like other people who turn the camera on and put cream cheese on pickles and eat it. And they get $50 million, 500,000 plus views and likes. But people like me who tell uncomfortable truths get shadow banned. And I would do it all over again. I would. And this leads me to what God recently gave me that I will be making a video on very soon about who the true ruler is of this world and the state that this world is in. For years, I have been telling you guys, as in the days of Noah, and we are seeing those days play out in our faces. This isn't the first time that they sacrificed children. It's not the first time that sexual inappropriateness was happening. It's not the first time that people were drinking and eating blood. As I said many years ago, and I will continue to say it, it all leads back to one place, after the flood. All roads lead to Babylon, to a man by the name of Nimrod, who was the son of Cush. And Cush was the son of Ham. I will be going into the worlds before and many other things that God wants documented at this time. And he has sent his voice through me to proclaim it, again, to bring forth remembrance of those things that were lost by design long ago. As in the days of Noah, so shall you know again. Until next time, take care of yourself and do not be found wanting.